Hi guys, it's Ben from Outdoor Hiking Therapy, and today I'm doing another project. Building out of pallets. What a surprise. My favourite thing to build out of, nice and cheap, and it's good for the environment. It's recycling. All these pallets would normally just be thrown away, burnt, crushed up, whatever. So I'm going to be building a Adirondack Chair, or Adirondack Chair, however you pronounce it, today. So I've previously made one of these, so I actually have a template. All these are just template pieces of timber that I've already cut out from last time, which I actually just found a template online and transferred it onto these bits of timber so that I could actually just do the template every time I wanted to build one. It's a lot easier because the timbers, like, just this one for example, that's an arm for the arm of the chair, so it's a little difficult to cut that out just by measuring it every time. So with the template, makes it a hell of a lot easier. So I've got all these different template pieces, and that's what I'm going to be using to build the chair with. So that there is a leg. There. I'm going to start tracing them out and then cutting them out, and then we'll go from there and prepare the timber and all that sort of stuff. So I need two each of these ones, two each of the legs, just need one of each of these for the supports, one of this one, and then 7 of these for the seat slats. And obviously the 2 arms. They're a little bit difficult because I don't have a wide enough piece of timber, so I actually join 2 bits of timber together, but I'll show you that process when I get to it. And this is a jig that I've made up. So this goes through my table saw, so it'll cut these on the angle that I want. So basically I stick this, cut it to size, put it in there, and then run that through the table saw so it's thicker one end, skinnier the other. It's just a little jig that helps me do that. But I have to have them the right length to fit inside this to start with. But basically, each panel will make 2 slats for the backrest. Now this is the arm that I was telling you about. It's a bit tricky to do with 2 bits of timber. Obviously I don't have anything wide enough. So I get my 2 pieces of timber here, put them together. I just use a clamp to hold them together. while I trace the template onto it. And there you have it. All nice and traced on there. Now, when I actually join these together, I actually have to get 2 little pieces of timber underneath to actually join these 2 pieces of timber together. You can glue as well. I tend to not worry about gluing too much. Just the little slats underneath will be enough to hold it together. And that's all the timber, all cut to length. I've got to trim some of these out with the jigsaw, obviously, because they're all weird and wonderful shapes, these pieces. So I'm going to do that now, and then I'll put everything through the thicknesser. And there we have the armrest all cut out. Like I said, I'll put some timbers, obviously a little bit longer than that, but across there, and another little one up there, just to hold these together. I'll screw them together, and that will hold this arm as one piece. Now we've also got the main support legs as well, the upright supports, so I've got to cut those out as well. So the front ones are a little bit shorter than the back ones, and that should be all the cutting out I need to do, except for the slats that I have to put through the table saw. And there we have all the slats for the back of the chair. You'll see it's wider one end than the other. That's what that jig does. I get the 2 slats out of the one thickness of board. If you don't have a table saw, it's okay. I mean, you can just cut them out by hand, that's no worries at all. It's just this, the jig and the table saw makes life a bit quicker and a bit easier. Definitely makes it a bit quicker. So that's why I've got the table saw, I might as well use it and make short work of these slats. And there we have 2 armrest pieces all put together. So they'll be ready to go when I get to that part of the build. You leave one board out, so you've got this piece here, and that will fit in there and then go around. The slats will come in to this slot just here, so that gets put on after the slats are in. So that is the base of the chair. So come back here about 3 inches roughly. Same on the other side there. Easiest way is just to line it up on this board just here. And then we can attach these posts or these legs to this piece here, to the base. Alright, now we set this piece aside for a little bit. And we've got to build the back section, the back legs. So it's fairly basic, it's just those. Put this piece on top. But what we want to do is just cut these just back on a bit of an angle. Maybe, I think it's like a 15-degree angle. It's nothing much, but just so the back sits a bit nicer on these bits. So instead of being straight, it'll be on a bit of an angle. So I'm going to go and mark those now. So there we've got the angle there. And then just need to drill this piece to the top. Alright, now I've just got the one screw in there now. I'll put the other screw in once I've attached this to the actual base. And with this back piece we want to elevate it off the ground a bit, so this is what's taking the weight, not this back bit. It's not much, but just off the ground just a little bit. Make sure you can't see it underneath there. You want it pretty much level, just with there at the front edge. It helps if you've got a square. You can stick it on the inside and make sure this leg is plumb. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a screw in it just to hold it. Move to the other side. Good way to double check is just to measure from the post back out to the edge here on both sides. That one's going to go in a smidge. And they're looking pretty good. I'll drop another screw in on this side. First making sure it's plumb, it tends to help. Take the clamp off and drop a few more screws in. Now we're going to put the arm supports on. So these will be sitting like this, both sides. these back braces, you want to get your arm, stick it on there. If you've got a level, it makes it really easy. You can just put a level on it and get it right. Or just kind of eyeball it and then mark underneath, and that way you'll know where to put it when you put this on. And now you're ready for the arms to go on. Alright, now we've got the arms on, it's time for the backrest. So you want to start with your very two outside ones first. Now I've pre-drilled the bottom of these, so it shouldn't split out, but just inside this base piece here, where it starts to curve just here, that's where you want your first one to go. And you've got the same on the other side here. Very outside of the curve. And you bring these back to this back piece, sort of out almost till it hits the arm. It's up to personal preference really, but screw it in like so. Alright, then the rest of the 5 that you got left, because there's 7 all up, you just space in the middle here, roughly around the base here, and then you can adjust the top fan to suit once they're all in. And there you have the base all screwed in. And just spread these out, roughly by eye, just so they look nice. And screw them to the top piece. Now it's up to you. You can either leave it like this, or you can do the rounded look, which I prefer. So this is my template for it. So what I do is I get the top of the curve close to the top of these slats and just clamp it down. Alright, then you just make sure this is straight. And then you can trace your half circle. Like so. And there you have it. All we've got to do now is smooth off these edges, and with the base here I've got to round those edges so the seat flows, and also drop this next piece just in here, the last piece. This piece here just goes in here and dresses that up. Now I just use a flapper disc. It's meant for taking paint off, but works really good on this soft timber. Just don't press too hard or it will take chunks out. So I use that a lot to smooth off these edges. Makes life a bit quicker and easier. And there you have it. The most comfortable timber chair you'll ever sit in. I've sat in one of these for hours and you don't get a sore butt. No cushion because of the way it's curved. Just goes with your butt. And it's got the nice wide armrests for, you know, put a drink on, not gonna knock it off or spill it. You can either leave it like this. Obviously, if you're having out in the weather, I suggest you either paint it with an exterior paint or a decking oil or stain, or you can varnish it as well. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one yet, but this is just the build process, and I'll probably put a photo up of what it looks like when I'm finished. But this is the whole build, all done. So if you like this kind of video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up and the notification bell. Drop me a comment or a question. And until next time, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.